Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's me, UFC Investor. In this video, we're going to be talking about UFC Perez, Moicano versus Saint Denis. We'll be discussing my picks, my bets, my predictions, and some of the fighters like Ailin Perez, who might twerk after she wins. Brandon Allen, if he wins, he might twerk. Moicano, Saint Denis. So there's a lot to go over, but let's go into the first fight. Okay, so for the first fight of the night, we have Bolaji Oki versus Chris Duncan. When I first looked at this, I was siding with Chris Duncan by decision. A lot of people are picking Oki, as you can see. They're picking him by KO, which I can see obviously because Oki does have great body work. I do see that happening for sure, but if I had to come down to a pick, I do think Duncan can win this by decision as long as he doesn't get KO'd. If you go to Duncan's Instagram, one of his first posts is his fight in the Contender Series against Charlie Campbell, and this is where he was kind of getting beat up by Campbell, but he ends up coming back with the right and knocking out Campbell. So it just kind of shows that Chris Duncan isn't out all the time, or he's not going to be broken easily. Another notable thing that Duncan does is he does train with Grant Dawson and Dustin Poirier, so he seems to be having a lot of good experience in terms of him having already 3 UFC fights and training with UFC fighters. So I think that makes me more comfortable with the pick. And then compared to Oki, like I said, he does have great body work. He's put a lot he's knocked out a lot of guys just through like punching their stomach or their liver pretty much. But I don't know, I just don't think he's proven yet. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised, like, because the odds obviously reflect him most likely winning. So I'm just gonna give Duncan a chance here. If Duncan loses this one, then I don't know how good of a fighter he is gonna be after that. But I think Duncan should be able to take Oki down and control him. Oki is younger at 28 years old versus Duncan at 31. He does have a slight reach advantage at 2 inches at 73 inches. But other than that, Duncan trains at American Top Team, like I said, with Poirier and Grant Dawson. So Duncan should have the more well-rounded skill set to beat Oki. But if this stays on the feet, then I think Oki should probably win. I just expect that the fight's going to go to the ground and Duncan's going to have some opportunity. So I'm going to be siding with Duncan by decision. A lot of people are actually picking decision on Duncan's side too. Like I said, it doesn't surprise me if Oki gets a KO, but I can also see Oki getting a decision. Literally no people are picking him by submission, so it kind of shows you that Oki most likely, I mean, like the picture saying, Oki's most likely gonna get a KO or a decision, and Duncan's most likely gonna get a decision, I think. So if I had to pick for sure, I would pick Duncan by decision, which is what I'm gonna be going with. And if I had to pick Oki, I would pick Oki by KO or TKO. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, so for this next fight, guys, we have a rematch. Nora Cornolle versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Cavalcanti literally just fought like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, so this is short notice for her. But like I said, this is a rematch. Cavalcanti did beat Cornolle. I think it was in her first professional fight. Pretty much Jacqueline does have the win so far in their little competition, but I do think Nora could pull this off now that she's been having a lot more experience, even though she is older at 34 years old versus Cavalcanti, who's 27. I don't know, I just think in France or in Paris, I think they might give it to Nora if it gets to even a split. I think I heard that Nora she robbed Jocelyn Edwards in a decision win, and I think that was in France. I don't know, I just think Nora has more finishing capability, but she did beat Mullins too. Nora's fighting Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who is 7-1, and she's never been subbed. She's 2-0. She just got off of beating Josiane Nunez, which I honestly thought, like, obviously it was a split, and I kind of was siding with Nunez, even though I picked Cavalcanti and I was happy she won. I don't know, I just didn't get impressed by that performance when I saw her fight Nunez. Nora should have the advantage with her being at a full camp, after a full camp. Cavalcanti, short notice. He just fought like 4 weeks ago. Yeah, it's a rematch, and Cavalcanti won the first fight, but I don't know, I think Nora should be able to pull this one off. Nora is 2-0 in the UFC, and that honestly, I think that speaks a lot. Like I said, the Mullins win is pretty decent, I say, even though she almost missed weight. And then the Edwards fight, yeah, she might have got the robbery, but still, I think she's improving for sure. She's even still getting a finishes like in the last fight. I'm gonna be siding with Nora by decision on this one for split, I would think. I don't see Nora finishing Jacqueline. I think it's gonna be like a really close fight. I think if she does beat Jacqueline, it'll be by decision. So I'm gonna be going Nora by decision. Almost forgot to show you guys her Instagram. So this is Nora's Instagram. Pretty basic, you know, she's just at the gym posting her wins. I don't think she was training with anyone of a significant name. I don't think like anyone from the UFC. At least I didn't notice. She seems to be a pretty good fighter, I would think, a striker. So she could get a finish, but I don't think so. I think it'll be decision. Here's Cavalcanti's Instagram. It looks like she's cutting weight, or maybe 3 days out. So this was 3 hours ago. It looks like she's doing fine on her weight cut. And yeah, like I said, I think Cavalcanti could for sure win, but I'm going to be siding with Nora on this one. I think she avenges her loss against Cavalcanti and gives her a decision loss, but I think for sure this goes the distance. So that's going to be my pick, Cornolle by decision. And if Cavalcanti wins, I think it'll be by decision. I don't think she's going to finish Cornolle. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, so for the next fight, we have Daniel Barez versus Victor Altamirano. Barez is 35 years old and Altamirano is 33. So not too much of a big of an age gap. A lot of people are picking Altamirano by decision, it looks like, and 25% of people are picking Barez. So I could see why. Barez seems to be okay, but Victor Altamirano just has more experience in the UFC. I think he's 2-3 in the UFC. Yeah, 2-3 in the UFC. He's coming off of 2 losses, 2 decision losses, but I don't know. I just think he did get a win over Vinicius Salvador, who actually is decent, I would think. Actually, never mind, 0-3. I think I was confusing him with another Vinicius, but versus Barez, who's 16-6 from Spain. He's never been KO'd. He's 0-1 in the UFC, and he fought against Filho, who actually was pretty decent. I think he dropped Filho a couple times, but Filho was able to come back and I think choke him out. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad of a loss because I do think he seemed to be winning that fight, and then before that he has a bunch of round 1 finishes. So I don't know, man. I just feel I could see why people are picking Altamirano because of the experience, and if you look at their striking, I could see Altamirano seems to be a little bit better in terms of the accuracy at 57%. The strikes landed per minute at 4 versus Barez, which is like at 3.8. Wow, it seems like they're really even in terms of their striking. When it comes down to their grappling, it seems like Barez has way better takedown defense. So I think this is gonna be a standing striking fight unless Barez wants to take it to the ground, and Barez does have submission wins. Barez isn't beating the best guys, I would say. Paul Moreno. Man, I could see why so many people are picking Altamirano. Literally all the guys he's beaten recently have a negative win records. So maybe this is going to be another split decision win for Altamirano. Maybe a split decision loss for Barez. I think I'm just going to go with my gut on this one and pick Altamirano, even though I do think Barez could win by split decision. Maybe Altamirano's not going to get knocked out, that's for sure. He's never been knocked out, Mexican, so I don't think Barez will knock him out. He might sub Altamirano, but I don't think so, and I do wonder if even Daniel wants to take it to the ground or not. I'm going to be picking Altamirano by decision on this one, even though I kind of don't like the pick that much. I feel like it's really 50-50, but even then I'm going to go with the UFC experience and just pick Altamirano on this one by decision. If Daniel Barez does win, I do think he can get a decision, even a submission, but most likely I think this one's going to the distance too. I'm going to be picking Altamirano by decision, but if Barez were to win, I think it's decision too. But let's go to the next fight. So for this next fight, we have Ailin Perez versus Dariya Zheleznyakova, the people's main event maybe. A lot of people are picking Perez by decision, and I can see why. Another fight where I think it will probably go to decision. This for sure goes the distance, I think. I don't think these girls are going to get a finish. And saying that, I am going to be picking Perez because logically, it tells me that Perez should be able to get a takedown on Dariya and just control her, because I think most of her wins come by decision. She's never been KO'd. She has been subbed. She's never lost a decision though. So it just kind of shows that you have to finish. You probably have to finish Perez, and you're probably not going to KO her to win. So I don't think Dariya has the submission capabilities because she's like a striker. Dariya actually trains with Bivol. I don't know if she trains with Bivol or with her trainer. I forgot the guy's name. Gennady, but a boxing coach that trained Bivol was training Dariya too. I would think. I think they might be training in the same gym or were. She does have boxing experience, so she should be the better striker. So this is going to be a match between Ailin wanting to take it to the ground and Dariya wanting to stay up. So I would think I'm going to be siding with Ailin taking it down to the ground and controlling it, because she does average like 5 takedowns per fight. I don't know. I'm going to be picking Ailin by decision. I could see her getting a ground and pound, but I don't know. I doubt it. Dariya's only loss is from a ground and pound 2 from Melissa Mullins. So I don't know. If Melissa Mullins can take you down and ground and pound you, I think maybe Ailin Perez can do that too. I don't know. I'm picking Ailin Perez for sure, but this makes me kind of want to think that Ailin Perez could get a ground and pound. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Ailin Perez ground and pound or TKO round 2. Honestly, I do think Ailin Perez has the advantage here in being able to take it to the ground and controlling it. They're both around the same age, 28, 29. The reach is 66 versus Dariya, which isn't listed. Dariya is training at the MMA factory with Gain, so that's something notable. I don't think she's training with Gain. Maybe she is, but she's also there with William Gomis, Imavov. So those are some pretty good people. She's not training with random people. She does seem to have some experience, and I don't doubt her. I am for sure going to be betting her by decision, if not TKO. But on Tapology, I'm going to be picking Ailin Perez by TKO. But she can also get a decision too. But let's go to the next fight. Hopefully, Ailin Perez twerks after she fights. I'm really hoping that Brendan Allen twerks after he wins, if he wins. But I'm pretty sure Perez is going to twerk after she wins. But yeah, let's go to the next fight. I almost forgot the most important part to show you guys their Instagram. This is Ailin's Instagram. Obviously, you guys know she's an OnlyFans model. You know, she's posting the regular stuff, training, you know, twerking, her being hurt, you know, nothing too important, I think. Just the usual stuff. I don't think she's training with anyone from the UFC that I've noticed, but or maybe she is. I just don't see anyone in her Instagram at least. Oh yeah, here's what's Robertson? I think that's her name. But yeah, she's training with maybe some people, but still, this doesn't really change my my pick. I'm pretty sure Ailin should be able to get this win against Dariya, I should say. This is Dariya's Instagram. Like I said, Dariya trains at the same gym as Gain, Gomis. She seems to be a good striker, but I don't think she can take this or keep this on the feet. I think she was taken down by what's her name? Oh man, I forgot this girl's name. Montserrat Rendon, I think. Yeah, so if Montserrat Rendon can take her down, then I think Ailin Perez for sure can do it. And yeah, next fight. Okay, so for next fight of the card, we have Taylor Lapilus versus Vince Morales. Honestly, guys, I don't really know too much about either one of these guys. The odds are pretty much saying Lapilus should win this for sure. And I can see why. I do know for sure that Vince Morales took this fight on short notice. Vince Morales was in the UFC, but then he got cut. He ended up getting like 4 or 5 wins after getting cut from the UFC. And now he's back. He actually beat this guy named Hunter Azura. He won a belt off of that, or won the title fight, I guess, with the Peruvian necktie in round 3. So it seems like he's getting more confident in his submission skills. He was 3-5 in the UFC beforehand, but now he's fighting Taylor Lapilus. I'm pretty sure Lapilus should be able to out cardio Vince Morales too, because he's had a full camp. He's 32 years old, from France, so he's fighting in his hometown. Their reaches are almost the same. Vince Morales at 70 inches, Lapilus at 73, so Lapilus does have that advantage. Here's their Instagram, or this is Taylor's Instagram. Here he is with Gain, you know, French people, French champ, or was French champ. Yeah, usual posts, you know. I guess he had belts from other organizations. He's 5-2 in the UFC, so I can expect so. And then Vince Morales, here he is. He has a notable win in like Japan or something like that. I forgot which fight it was. Yeah, he seems to have won a title outside of the UFC. He got paid. I'm not counting Vince out, training at Syndicate. So I think Vince could get a win, but yeah, I'm not too sure. I highly doubt it. If anything, I'm pretty sure Lapilus should win this, even though Vince is on a win streak. Another notable thing for Vince Morales is that Morales was the main training partner for Merab. Vince Morales should have the cardio, so I don't think he's gonna get finished easily. So I'm gonna be going Lapilus decision, maybe a TKO, highly doubt it. And Morales, if he were to win, I can only see him getting a sub. Yeah, guys, Lapilus by decision on that one, pretty easy, I think. Okay, guys, so for this next fight, I don't think I have to talk about it much. I think a majority of people are picking Klein. Ludovit Klein versus Roosevelt Roberts. I think it's a really easy pick. Klein has just been on a tear recently. He's a minus 800, huge favorite. I don't think Roberts can win this one, even though I think Roberts is like 4-4 in the UFC. I think he was on Tough under Chandler's team, and yeah, that's cool and all, but he's 4-4 in the UFC. He got finished in round 1 by Rebecki. You know, Rebecki's good and all. He lost to Austin Hubbard, split decision. Got finished by Ignacio like 3 years ago, and he got finished by Jim Miller, who's like older now. I mean, back then he wasn't as old, but still, I don't think Ludovit Klein can lose this one easily. He's 22-4, 29 years old. He's boxing based, 6'2" in the UFC. Yeah, he's been finished before, but not recently. He hasn't been finished since Nate Landwehr, Anaconda choke. And if I show you their Instagrams, actually, Ludovit Klein is actually expecting a child, so I'm pretty sure he's really motivated to get this win. Hopefully get this win to get like maybe a pretty good fight after this. If not, maybe, who knows, a title match eventually. Ludovit Klein's expecting a baby. Klein should win this. I'm going to be going by TKO. I'm going to expect a little bit more from him on this fight. But if not, if I don't want to say if he underperforms, he'll get a decision, but Klein for sure wins this one, I think. Okay, guys, so another fight where I think it's just going to be a really easy pick. I don't think I have to talk about this one much. Sy is going to win probably. 95% of people are picking him. Only 5% are picking Jung. Right now, the odds have Sy at like -500, which I kind of agree, you know, saying that I for sure would pick him, but I don't know if -500 is a little high. Here's Oumar Sy's Instagram, you know, training. I think I heard someone calling him the French John Jones. So I don't know if that's true. I don't remember seeing him fight, honestly. Maybe I did, I just don't remember. But this is a light heavyweight fight, so this one should be an exciting fight. I'm guessing there should be a finish in this one. So I'm picking Sy for sure by, I would think, TKO. I'm going to be picking round 1 TKO or round 2. I don't see this going to decision as likely as there being a finish for Oumar. Yeah, I'm going to be going Oumar round 2 TKO. Oh yeah, I think a notable thing for Jung is that he was training at Killcliff. Look, there's Brendan Allen. So maybe training at Killcliff will help Jung a lot, you know? You never know. So I will be putting maybe like a small bet on Jung, like 50 cents or something, for Jung to win by TKO. So, I mean, it could happen. You never know. But I'm going to be going Sy TKO on this one. Okay, guys. So this is a fight I'm actually a little excited about because I feel like it can go either way. The odds are obviously reflecting it at Erslan for 55%, Cutelaba at 45%. I don't want to say both guys aren't that good, but Cutelaba's like, what, 6-7 in the UFC or 6-10 or something, versus Ivan Erslan, who is debuting in the UFC. He's from American Top Team. Erslan, he's 14-3, so obviously a good record. He's 32 years old. Last fight was in KSW. He's from Croatia, top team, like I said. A lot of his wins come by KO. 4-3 in KSW. He has a lot of first round finishes, but he's also been finishing round 1 too. So I don't know. I just don't like the record, honestly. It's like 2 fights ago he just got finished in round 1. So I don't want to say he's like a do or die kind of guy, because he does have decision wins, not much, and he did lose a title fight. Or defended a belt, actually. Oh yeah, he was about to get a belt, but he didn't do it, I guess. So I think he's capable of having a gas tank, and I do think this could go to a decision versus Ion Cutelaba, because Ion Cutelaba is also a big finisher. So I think a lot of people are expecting this fight to be finished pretty quick, and I do too. I'm gonna be betting on that too. I don't think it'll go to decision. I'm hoping, if not thinking, this should be ending in round 1 too, because Cutelaba's been fighting pretty decent people. He's fought Kennedy, Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann, and Magomed Ankalaev 2 times. If you didn't see that fight, I think you should go see it. I think the first fight, Magomed Ankalaev and him were fighting, and I think like he was getting wobbled, and the ref like jumped in, and like even though Ion Cutelaba was like you know up, he didn't get like knocked out, or he wasn't that dazed. So I think that's why they did the rematch with Ankalaev, and he lost in round 1. So I think that's kind of funny. But still, I just think he's been fighting a lot better peeper than Ivan Erslan. Like I've never even heard of Ivan Erslan. I think it'll be TKO on Ion's side. I do think Ivan. I do think Ivan could get a finish by TKO obviously too in round 1 if I were to pick. But I'm gonna be picking Ion Cutelaba by round 1 TKO. But let's go to the next fight. Oh, and let me show you guys their Instagram. So this is Ion's Instagram. You know, pretty cut. You pinned this one. Bald and in shape. Seems like a cool guy. Oh, like a family man. Yeah, I don't know. This made me like him a lot more. I didn't know he was a family man. So I'm picking Ion for sure. UFC fighter. And I forgot about this Hulk thing. That's so funny, man. I forgot he did this. It's hilarious. But let's look at Ivan's Instagram. This is Ivan's Instagram. He reminds me, Ivan Erslan looks like a big Jared Gordon. Like a Ivan Erslan looks like a buffer, bigger Jared Gordon, don't you think? Like, look at him, look pretty similar. Jared Gordon versus Ivan. Anyways, though, I'm still picking Ion. Kind of funny, he does look like Jared Gordon, but yeah, let's see how well he does in the UFC. I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if he does get a KO, but I'm going Ion on this one. For this next fight, we have Matt the Steamroller Frevola. This rolls off the tongue, and Faris Ziam in a fight, the Smile Killer. So I think this one's pretty straightforward too. I don't want to say Frevola's only way to victory is through KO, but if I were to pick him, I think that's what he's going to be doing. 69% of people are picking Frevola to win, and a lot of them are picking him by KO, 75% of them. But I just think Ziam, I mean, he's like what, 5-1 in the UFC? No, 5-2 in the UFC, and he's never been knocked out. I just don't see why I can see why people are picking Frevola. Maybe he gets knocked out for the first time, but I seems to have a chin, I think. I mean, he's gone 3 decision wins in the last UFC fights versus Frevola. I think it's Ray Longo's team. I think his last loss was to Saint Denis, you know, which is a pretty good match, or a pretty hard match for him, because Saint Denis been obviously at the top, and then before that he was on a roll, beating Drew Dober, Ottman, Genaro Valdez. So I'm gonna be going Ziam by decision. So here's Ziam's Instagram, you know, posting the usual, you know, just the selfie. He's French, obviously. I thought that was Neil Magny, but that's not Neil Magny. Fighting Frevola. I don't think he's training with anyone. Is that Saint Denis? Man, it's hard to tell. Yeah, that is Saint Denis. So he's been training with Saint Denis, looks like, you know, French team. I don't really see anything that significant to point out. But yeah, that's his Instagram page. I think he wins. I think by decision. And if you're picking Frevola, obviously round 1 KO, I think. You know, steamrolling. A funny thing is, Ray Longo's team. So I think he is from, I forgot the name of it, Longo and Weideman. Here he is with Marab, the now champ. And here's a pick with him, and I forgot this guy's name. He just lost on Dana White's Contender Series, I think. The Quiet Man MMA. Dylan Montella, yeah. He got subbed. I mean, it was a war, you know, both of them were tired. I think he got subbed by Ahmed in Dana White's Contender Series. But anyways, Matt Frevola, pretty cool Instagram page, I say. New dad, pretty cool picture. But yeah, guys, those are their Instagram pages, and I do think Ziam should win this one. I think I'm gonna fade the Longo team and pick Ziam on this one. Okay, guys, so I think this is another easy pick. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are picking Morgan Charriere. He's French. 90% of people are picking him by KO, it looks like. Gabriel Miranda, I think his only method of victory is gonna be through submission. He's 17-6, and most of his wins come by submission. So I think that's literally the only thing Morgan's gonna have to worry about. I mean, the odds are kind of reflecting how straightforward this is. Morgan is a minus 750 on Bovada right now. So I mean, even at 19-10, he has lost a lot of decisions, I should say. But I don't think, I mean, he just lost to Chepe Mariscal, which some people say was a robbery, but either way it's split, so it just looks good. I just don't think he's gonna lose to Gabriel Miranda, so I'm gonna be picking Morgan by TKO on this one. I think what happens is that they probably strike. Morgan's probably gonna be the better one. Miranda's probably gonna drop to the ground and try to invite him into the guard, and I think Morgan's probably gonna tell him to just get up rather than going into the guard on the ground. But who knows, maybe Morgan's gonna be confident enough to go into his guard, ground and pound, and finish him. Not too sure, but still I'm gonna be picking Morgan by round 2 TKO, maybe just a flat out KO, or maybe he does do the ground and pound. So I think it's a pretty easy pick. A lot of people are picking Morgan on this one. If you were to pick Miranda, I do think he could get a submission, maybe if he just catches Morgan in a bad spot, but I think that's his only way to victory. Miranda by round 1 submission. Actually, I think he's live for only round 1 or 2. Well, from what the records say, most likely, or from what his records say, most likely round 1, and I would agree so too. I mean, they're gonna be dry at the beginning, so if you were to get the submission, it'd probably be easier in the first round for Miranda. If I were to pick Miranda, it'd be round 1 submission, but I'm pretty sure Morgan's gonna win this by TKO. But let's show you their Instagrams. Morgan actually reminds me of Trippie Redd. So here's Morgan's Instagram, Morgan_Chapa. So here he is, you know, with the gun emoji, or the gun, I guess. Morgan, you know, the usual, dyes his hair. Seems like a pretty energetic guy, like a character. I think he's French. I think the French people love him from what I've heard. Yeah, he should be pretty entertaining, I think. And here is, let's see, Gabriel Miranda's Instagram. So here's Gabriel's Instagram, Gabriel Fly MMA. No, here he is, posting that he's in Paris. He has like dolls or something. I'm not sure what that's about. So he seems to be a father, another family man. He's like a cool guy. But yeah, I just don't think he's gonna beat Morgan. And yeah, guys, Morgan's probably gonna win this. I think they might be building him up at least on this card. But yeah, we'll see the outcome. Hopefully he can get a finish. For the next fight, we have Kevin Jousset versus Bryan battle. Honestly, guys, I think this one should be a lot more closer than what Typology is picking. I can see why people are picking battle for the most part over Jousset, because battle is like what, 5-1 in the UFC. He's 10-2 in total, but 5-1 in the UFC. And that Angalusa fight, I think he was actually like winning that fight. So if you count that one, maybe he's 6-1. So I could see why people are picking him versus Kevin Jousset, who's from City Kickboxing, training with Izzy, training with Carlos Olberg, 2-0 in the UFC. And I could see why people are kind of like ignoring that and not picking him. But I don't know, I just think it's going to be a lot more competitive than what Tapology's picking. Even right now on the odds, they have battle at a -168 and Jousset at a +142. I think it should be a little closer, but the odds are kind of reflecting how close it is compared to what Tapology's picking, because most people are picking battle to win this. And like I said, I can see why, because he's 5-1, if not 6-1 in the UFC. He does have a 2-inch reach advantage at 77 inches versus Jousset, who has 75. He is 1 year younger at 30 years old versus Jousset at 31. So he just has that little bit more than Jousset. And I think Jousset, I don't think he has a lot of finishes. He doesn't have a lot of finishes. I mean, yeah, he has KOs, but he does have a lot of decision wins and a decision loss. I think from what I've heard, his fight with JDM, he was getting like pieced up. So I don't know, maybe it might be similar to that fight against Bryan Battle. Maybe Bryan Battle pieces him up. I think this might be a standing fight. I don't know if one guy or the other is going to prefer to like mix takedowns with striking or just prefer striking. I do know that Battle is decent on the ground. He's 10-2 with a lot of submission wins. He can get that submission. I do think if he gets to the ground, I do think I side with Battle for sure on that too, because Jousset does have submission wins. Let's see. Oh yeah, barely any. So I would think Battle is more capable of getting a win in the whole fight if Jousset makes a mistake, on the ground, on the feet, or just anywhere. So that's why I'm siding with Battle on this one. Kind of do want to pick Jousset just because, maybe because I think, was it the last fight or the first fight in the UFC? I think I didn't pick him and I kind of regretted it. But I don't know. I can't argue with 6-1 in the UFC versus 2-0. I don't think Jousset has been tested enough, and I think this is going to be a big test for him, and I don't think he's going to beat Battle. So I'm going to be picking Battle by, I would say, submission. I'm going to be saying round 2 rear naked choke, if not round 3. I don't think he's going to be putting out Kevin Jousset in round 1. So I'm going to be picking Battle by round 2 or 3 submission, maybe decision. If I were to pick Jousset to win, I would think he wins by decision, if not TKO. Obviously, he doesn't get a lot of submission wins, especially not versus Battle, who has a lot of submission wins. So yeah, if Jousset wins, I think he's going to get a decision win. So Jousset is going to have to use his like muscle, like the distance, just the cardio to win this one. And I don't think it's that easy. I think Battle is just going to be able to take more advantage of moments in the fight and catch mistakes. So that and saying that, I'm going to be picking Battle. But let's show you guys their Instagram now. So here's Battle's Instagram. As we all know, he was the tough winner. So that's pretty impressive. Ever since then, I was kind of like watching him, and he seems to be doing good. Here's his back tattoo. I think it's from like Dragon Ball Z. Pretty cool tattoo. I think he has it colored in now. Here's another post with him and some other guys. Don't know who that is. Yeah, I think Battle should be able to win this one. I don't think Battle's been training with like anyone from the UFC, at least that I noticed. But still, I think Battle should have the experience, the confidence. I don't know. I think he's just a character. I think he has like the swagger to be a star in the UFC, and I think this is going to be a big stepping stone for him. As for Jousset, here's his Instagram. He's French, training at City Kickboxing. I think he might be doing like an interview with GSP or something. What's this? Yeah, I guess GSP sent him a message, and it's recently. I think maybe GSP might be picking him. Damn, for a second I thought he was speaking English, but I think he's speaking French. But I'm guessing he's picking Jousset to win. I do think Jousset has a good chance, but I'm still gonna be picking Battle on this one. Yeah, I like CKB. I like Jousset. I just don't like him in this one. I don't if he does win, I think it'll be by decision. Maybe a TKO. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe he'll be the first one to KO or TKO battle. But I don't think so. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, so here's the next fight. We have William Gomis versus Joanderson Brito. A lot of people are picking Brito on this one. I can see multiple reasons why. He's on a win streak. A lot of people have been mentioning Brito being the only guy, or one of the only guys, 17-3. Brito's 5-1 in the UFC, and he's one of the only guys to beat Diego Lopez, who was like on a tear in the UFC, who just got the win at the Sphere. Brito beating Diego Lopez 3 years ago is pretty impressive. You know, that was 3 years ago, but still, ever since then, he's been on a win streak, only losing to Bill Algeo by decision. So ever since then, he hasn't been finished. So I think he's gonna be confident on this one. I don't think he's gonna lose this one. I'm gonna be picking Brito, but parts of me just kind of like double take back onto William Gomis being 13-2. From what I've heard of William Gomis, kind of plays it safe, I believe. I have to recheck that. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but Gomis has wins over Yanis Gamuri, Francis Marshall, Jarno Aarons. I don't want to say these aren't the best guys, but I'm not too impressed. Jarno Aarons is all right. I don't think he's that good, honestly. 1-3 in the UFC. Yeah, I just don't think Gomis has fought the best people. 8-2 Francis Marshall from Tough or Contender Series? Contender Series, it looks like. Yeah, I thought he was from Tough, but yeah, I just don't think Gomis has fought like the best people. Now that at this level, he beat Yanis Gomori. They're 12-3. You know, Yanis was 0-2 or isn't 0-2 in the UFC. I mean, he lost to Peyton Talbot and Gomis. So like I said, I just don't think Gomis has been like the best people in the UFC. And he is French, and they are fighting in Paris. He's coming out of the MMA Factory, you know, with Gain and all them. But I just don't think he can beat Brito. He's never been KO'd. He has lost a decision and subbed before. But he's fighting Brito on this one, who, like I said, hasn't been finished in like years. And he's like on a 5-fight win streak, I believe. Yeah, 5-fight win streak with a performance of the night. Yeah, not too long ago, with a bunch of finishes. And I think like 2 of those, actually 2 canceled bouts. I wonder who canceled those. He was supposed to fight Dan Ige, but 2 of those wins recently are submission versus Gomis, who has been subbed before. So just kind of seeing that, like, I don't think he's gonna KO Gomis. He's never been KO'd. I would think Gomis is preferring to strike on this one and maybe just outpoint Brito, but I don't know. I think Brito is gonna just, you know, fight into the clinch and then try to take Gomis down. At least that's what I would hope. So I'm gonna be picking Brito. Like I said, if Gomis were to win, I think it's by decision. Even then, I'm not even too confident on that. He could finish Brito, but I just, even thinking about that, it doesn't compute in my head. So yeah, guys, those are the picks. That's the pick for that fight. Here's their Instagram. Yep, the usual. Pretty good post, I would say. I didn't see him training with anyone from the UFC, but he's been at MMA Factory, obviously. Nothing too notable. Here's Brito's Instagram account. You know, he's just traveling around. You know, he's jumping into his coach's arms. You know, pretty emotional guy, I would say. So, I don't know. He seems like a cool guy, like a character. And I think he should be able to win this one too. But yeah, guys, that's my pick for that fight. Let's go to the next one. Okay, guys. So for the co-main event of the night, the second last fight, we have Nassourdine Imavov versus Brendan Allen. I'm really excited for this fight, guys. This one's really hard to call. I was on Imavov's side decision at first, but now I'm on Allen by submission. I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be really hard to call. Right now, the Tapology, 65% of people are picking Imavov to win, and only 35 are picking Allen to win. For the odds have Imavov at -215 and Allen at a +178. I do kind of slightly disagree with the odds on this one, because even I forgot that Brendan Allen is 24-5. He's only 28 years old, training at Kill Cliff, 6'2", and he's 12-2 in the UFC. Like, I forgot. Like, that's one of the best records that I've seen in the UFC in a while, and he's literally coming off of a 8-fight win streak. And the last time he lost was to Chris Curtis, which he just avenged that loss. And then before that was Sean Strickland, the champion. And then before that was Fluffy, like years ago. And then Eric Anders. Literally, he's only lost to like some of the best people. So I do see Imavov winning for sure by decision. You know, 14-4. He's also 28. You know, these guys are the same age. Training it from the MMA Factory with all the French people. 6'3". 6-2 in the UFC. He lost to Sean Strickland and Phil Hawes. So Sean Strickland beat both these guys. But I just don't see Imavov easily just winning this. I mean, on paper, yeah, I could imagine the striking being better on Imavov's side, because I do think he's a kickboxer, I believe. It doesn't say here, but I do think Imavov's striking could be better, because Brendan Allen's submission game is obviously a lot better than Imavov. Imavov has lost by submission before, and that's what kind of gets me thinking, like, if he loses by submission, I mean, it's happened before, guillotine choke. I mean, that was years ago, obviously, but I don't know, it could happen again. I feel like I'm gonna be going with Brandon Allen on this one. A little hesitant, honestly, because I was on Imavov's side at first, but I just think that the 12 fights in the UFC and the only 2 losses are just gonna help so much. The confidence, and he has literally a bunch of rear naked choke in rounds 1 to 3. I just can't count Allen out yet. And versus Imavov, yeah, it's a great test, 6-2. But like, if you were to double the fights that Imavov's had, would he have the same record as Brandon Allen, if not better? I don't know. So I mean, I can see why some people are picking Imavov, but I'm going to be going Brandon Allen by submission on this one. I think he pulls it off. I think he gets the back of Imavov once he makes a mistake. I mean, if you think about it, if he gets to the ground, Brandon Allen has the advantage, I'm pretty sure. And most fights go to the ground. So I'm going to be siding with Allen on this one by submission round 3, I think. But if Nassourdine Imavov were to win, I think it's decision. I don't think he's going to finish Brandon Allen. Because, I mean, if Imavov like strikes with Allen and he like catches him good, Allen's just going to fall to the ground. I don't think he's just going to flat out KO Allen. Allen's just going to go to the ground and just kind of invite him to the guard. Just like with maybe the Miranda fight with, is it Morgan? Yeah, I just think it's Brandon Allen has more capabilities or more ways to finish Imavov. This is a really hard one to pick, guys. Like I said, I was with Imavov at the beginning for decision, but now I'm siding with Allen because I feel like I've doubted Allen a couple times, and him being 12-2 in the UFC with the submission wins, I think I just have to pick it. It's like a feeling. Maybe it's a biased feeling, who knows? He is pretty funny, but I'm going to be going with Brandon Allen on this one. But yeah, guys, let me show you guys their Instagram. Here's Imavov's Instagram, you know, just posting the usual, him and his friends out in the city, you know, up to no good. It looks like a music video. But yeah, here's this post. Nothing too out of the ordinary. It's the usual stuff. Oh, here he is training with Kamza. I didn't know he trained with Kamza, so that's kind of notable. I don't know if they're training together. Maybe they're just taking a photo together. Training to pull out again. Someone commented. I don't know if he's training with Kamza or not, but I mean, I'm assuming it's a good thing he's around him. And if they're around each other, they're probably training. So here's Saint Denis. Don't recognize anybody else. Imavov. So yeah, that's his Instagram. Nothing too crazy. Still gonna pick Allen. Here he is, Brandon Allen. You know, posting the usual stuff. Sunglasses in the gym, obviously. We got this photo here. Not too sure why he posted that. Here he is with his wife. Let's see if he's been training with anyone significant. I don't see anybody. Who knows? Maybe he's for sure like doing stuff behind the scenes. Can't be too sure. Got a nice truck. But anyways, I think I like this pick. I like giving Allen a chance as an underdog on this one. I'm gonna be betting on him by submission. Probably be throwing a little bit on each of the rounds by submission, but I'm also gonna be betting Imavov by decision too, in some parlays or something. Who knows? This makes him kind of look like Brian Ortega. Damn, I'm already forgetting his name. Anyways, guys, let's go to the next fight. All right, guys. So for the final fight of the night, the main event, we have Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis. Man, this fight, I was pretty on the fence about it at the beginning, but towards the first couple days, I finally just kind of decided that Saint Denis should be able to win this one. I think I can see each guy's method of victory. You know, Moicano maybe getting the sub, Saint Denis probably getting a TKO of some sort, maybe a decision. That's the way I see it, at least. I think if it comes to striking, I would side with Saint Denis on this one, but barely, not by much. I mean, he beat Frevola. If he was able to like not get KO'd by Frevola, then he shouldn't get KO'd by Moicano. So I would think whoever has the better cardio and better striking is probably going to win this one. So in saying that, I'm going to be siding with Saint Denis, but let's show you guys their Instagram. Here is Renato's Instagram, you know, the usual, just him posting, smiling. He's doing the, I think what's it called? The Show Me the Money podcast. I watch this, not religiously, but I watch it pretty often. Gilbert Burns is on there, but yeah, here's Renato. It's kind of posting a lot for the fights. I don't know if he's been training with anyone significant from the UFC. Here is Saint Denis' Instagram. Here's the fight of the night post against Dustin Poirier where he got knocked out. He was like in the Black Ops for like France, if you guys didn't know. So he's like military trained. So I don't think, I mean, he did get KO'd by Dustin, but I don't think he's gonna give up easily. Some say that he had a staph infection and that's why he lost, but I don't really believe that. I do think him training with the MMA factory with Imavov might even help. Who knows? But I'm thinking BSD comes back with the win on this one. I think he should be able to put out Moicano, but still, I'll say that I'll be picking BSD by TKO TKO round 3 or 4, maybe a little late into the fight, I think. And if Moicano wins, I think he wins by submission. Man, don't see Moicano getting a TKO or a decision, and I only see him getting a submission. I mean, most people on Tapology agree with that, but I don't know. I think Moicano just is gonna try to get any win possible. Obviously, you know how he always says he has to win. So I don't know. I wouldn't count Moicano out. At least I for sure think it's a lot closer than what the Tapology picks are saying. Right now, the odds have Renato at a plus 225 and Benoit at a minus 275, which I kind of agree. I would think it should be more minus 200 and then like plus, like, I don't know, 150 for Moicano, something a little bit more closer. I'm gonna be picking Saint Denis on this one. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It was 14 fights. Honestly, it was a lot to go through, so I'm hoping I get most of these picks right. I'll be happy if I do. Like the video. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and I do want to thank the new subscribers. I feel like every video I've been getting more subscribers. I think the last video I mentioned having 21 subscribers, but now we have 26 subscribers or 25, not too sure. But thank you guys so much for subscribing, for watching, for liking the videos. I'm gonna keep making more videos, more thumbnails. I'm hoping you guys think the thumbnails are pretty funny, because that's what I try to make them to be. And yeah, guys, comment below what your picks are, what your bets are, what you guys are gonna be doing for Saturday, or just any criticism, anything at all. It'll help. And I'll see you guys in another video. I think I named all the methods for all the fights, so I don't think I have to do like an end recap or the video in terms of like the bets or the methods. I think I kind of said what I was gonna be betting, or pretty much all the methods for each side is what I'm going to be betting. Like either the picks that I said for Tapology or the other side. If I were to bet, that's what I would pick. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in another video.